Good morning, troop. Good morning, Charlie Company. Fucking Normy here. It's about 0600 hours. I've been in and out of sleep for about 400 hours. And in my nightmare, I was working for some electrical company. And went through a mad truck backing in, and everything fucking went to shit in the factory, and a couple of people got hurt, and then we found an alien, and he had a screw at the back of his head, and I wanted to unscrew it and see if there was another alien in his head, but that was all pretty trippy. And then I was in my magic bus, looking for a place to sleep for the night, and that broke down, and then I lost my dog, and so I was looking for my dog, and so that's just a night of many that I go through fucking nightmares, and I don't get much of a rest. I stay in the REM, so. But that's why I'm doing this video. I'm doing it about PTSD. Now, when I was in the army, I never heard of PTSD. Didn't hear it once. This is in the 90s when I went through with 1RR. And, so I never heard of PTSD. But 6 years after I got out of the army, I went off my nana and tried to kill the missus, and fucking, so they locked me up in the nut house. Well, they didn't really lock me up in the nut house. What happened was I was charged with threat to kill and assault. So I went down to the RSL club and walked in, and the guy is on the phone, and he goes, "I think I've got another one that's hit the wall." So I'm thinking, fucking hell, there's another one, Somali vet gone off. So I said, look, to the RSL, they train me to kill, and now I'm charged with threat to kill. I don't understand. So my sister got on board, and she went to the psych ward, Hollywood Hospital, for veterans, and said, my brother needs help. He hasn't been the same since he got back from Somalia. And they told my sister to tell him to go do some more exercise. Now, I was a brick stacker, and I was stacking 40 to 50 tons of bricks a day. So I couldn't go and do any more exercise. So my sister gave them the hard words, and they finally let me into Hollywood Hospital. They had balloons up and all these streamers up, and because I was the first veteran to come in for PTSD since Vietnam. We had the Sinai. There was one guy in there from the Sinai. I don't know what battalion he was, but we're talking of a whole battalion movement into Somalia. It had been 20 years since 1973. Vietnam finished, 1993, Somalia happened. So I end up in this fucking hospital, and they're going to me, you've got PTSD. And I'm going, look, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. There's nothing wrong with me. Just keep the bongs flowing and the beer. And they said, no, we'll go and take a picture of your brain. So they went and took a picture of my brain, an MRI, and that even proved it. So one day I'm in a lesson, and they're giving us all a lesson. I'm in there with Vietnam vets, Korean veterans, World War II veterans, and I'm the only Somalia veteran in there. And I stood up in the classroom and I said, well, if we need so much help, and there's something wrong with us. What about my 900 buddies that I went to Somalia with? What about them? They need help too. And they said to me, let them work it out for themselves. So I was like, fucking hell, you know. So I was sitting on a time bomb thinking I'm the first Somalia veteran let into the doors of a psych ward. And so they're scared of giving us pensions because they're looking at 900 Somalia pensions now. So if they let me in the doors for PTSD from Somalia, then that allows the way for the other 900 Somali veterans to enter the psych ward as well and get their TPI pension for PTSD. So, yeah, so I went through months and months of training and ended up with me pension after about a year and a half. And they said, no more work. This is in 1999, knock off. You're fucked, you're a fucked unit. Just try and deal with your PTSD the best way you can. Don't hit the booze and the drugs too hard. See you later. You've done all your lessons. And so that was 1999. I was 29 years old when they knocked me off. And that was 6 years after Somalia when I fell apart and tried to kill the missus. And but the government were really scared. They got into my car when I was in the Hollywood Hospital Clinic car park going out on a Saturday morning. And they asked me if I was angry. And I said no. And so the guy got out of the car and said, okay, that's all we wanted to know, and left. So the government were facing, we've got a soldier that we trained to kill, is charged with threat to kill and assault. And we've never warned him about PTSD when he got back from Somalia, even though we knew about PTSD from Vietnam and Korea and World War II and World War One. They're just called different things. World War II was fucking battle something or other. World War One was shell shock. American Civil War, it was called Soldier's Heart. But yeah, so the government, they took me to court and they had a Navy prosecutor, an Army judge, yeah, full military, like back court, and they just said, right, we'll give you a good behaviour bond. We can see you've attempted to give up the piss and the drugs and that you have PTSD and that's why you exploded. So now you have your pension. Try not to get too stressed out and kill anyone again. And yeah, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. And so I walked away from Perth with a pension. Got the fuck away from the missus because that was just too violent a relationship. And so I just travelled around Australia and I went deep down to Tasmania, deep and hid in the mountains of Tassie for a while, burying food in the ground, baked beans, guns, medicine. Yeah, so I was running around like a fucked up veteran. But why I'm telling you guys this is because you don't have to go overseas to get PTSD. 343 turns you on. It fucking... I was talking to Jace Cobb yesterday and he said he's seeing psychiatrists now and he never went overseas, but 343, you're hypothalamus. You're hypothalamus. I'm the hypothalamus. There's a fucking part of your brain that swells. And once they've trained you, this thing swells and they don't know how to turn it off. So if you're having problems relaxing, like without getting shit-faced or taking some drugs, a possibility you could have PTSD. there's a form of PTSD that only soldiers seem to get. And the best way for you to find out if you do have PTSD is you go see a psych, or go see a doctor. They will send you to the psych. So you go to the psych and say, look, I'm an infantry boy, or even if you're a veteran, say I'm a veteran, and I'd like an MRI on my brain, because they're so good at it now, they can take pictures of your brain like they did to me, and they can tell a PTSD brain from a normal brain. And yeah, because the front lobes are red. There's a triangle on the top of your head as well, a red triangle. Yeah, the PTSD brain looks completely different from a normal person's brain. And yeah, through an MRI. And then if you do have PTSD from the MRI telling you, then that's all you need to show Veteran Affairs. Yeah, show Vets Affairs that you've got PTSD. And they're going to go, righto, well, did you get that from childhood? That's what you've got to prove. You've got to prove whether the army turned on your mind, or turned on your PTSD mind, your reptilian mind, your instinctive survival mode, and are you living in that instinctive survival mode still, and you have PTSD, yeah. But the pension's not to be sneezed at. You get your gold card and your TPI, which is total permanent idiot. No, that's what I like to call it, but it's total permanent incapacitated. You get your gold card. They usually, while you're battling to get your PTSD to TPI, they'll send you a white card, and that pays for all your psychs and your and all that sort of stuff. So, but it's not to be a sneezed at pension. I get $2,350 a fortnight in the hand. So you work that out at $5 Monday to Friday for 2 weeks. It works out about $260 a day in the hand for a 5-day week. And that gets paid to you for the rest of your life. And it goes up with inflation as well. And then you get your gold card, and your gold card gets you free hospital, gets you into a private hospital if you have to go to hospital, free doctors, free dental. Yeah, you get half price. You know, when you pay your rates, you get half price there. You get half price rego. You get half price license, like free license for 5 years. They bury you as well. They pay for your funeral on the gold card. Yeah, so it's not to be sneezed at. Like on $2,350, if you've got a missus as well, you get $3,000. $3,000 a fortnight for you and the missus. So you can get a fucking Winnebago and fuck off around Australia. You don't have to worry about working again. But I'm doing this video because I know that 343 infantry school training turns your buttons on, and we don't know how to turn them off. They just let us out of the army fully wired and go, oh, go and be a civilian. Go and do a civilian's job. And you're left strung out, and sometimes you're a walking time bomb, and working with civilians is frustrating after you get out of the army. That's another one why they like to give you your TPI and not let you go back to work, so you don't end up knocking someone over the bloody head at work. Yeah, but they look after you once you're on your gold card, but it's a fucking cunt of a fight to get it. But if you hang in there and do the fight, and Chattahoochee, you got to watch the movie Chattahoochee. I'll put it under this video that I put on Charlie Company page. Chattahoochee, it's about a Korean veteran who comes home, and he was decorated a hero in Korea, infantry boy, and on Valentine's Day he started shooting up the street, and the coppers all turned up, and then he tried to kill himself by shooting himself in the heart, and survived. And then they threw him into mainstream mental institution back in 53, 54. And back then the mental institution was terrible. So, but he changed the whole way soldiers get treated when they get back from war. So he's a bit of a hero. But Chattahoochee taught me to keep fighting the government and beat the cunts at their game, and yeah, fucking get your PTSD pension, man. But I'm doing this mainly because I know there's a lot of strung out dudes out there, and I know a lot of yous have got your TPI pension. Most Somali vets now have their TPI pension, because if you go in and tell them that you're a Somali veteran, they automatically pretty much give you your pension now, because they know it was such a cunt of a place. Rwanda as well. Rwanda gets is top priority, Somalia's top priority, and now Afghanistan's coming through, so that's who they're dealing with now. So, but remember, you can prove that you got PTSD by an MRI scan, and there's nothing they can say against it, man. You just got to prove you didn't get it as a kid. You just got to say, no, I had a good childhood. Didn't nothing traumatic happen to me. I got this from the army. So, yeah. But remember, it's a tough fight. But, yeah, if you got any questions, fucking hit me up, ask me. But I did this because I don't want any boys from Charlie Company suffering PTSD and having to go to work and be in the role of, oh geez, I'm a civilian trying to make money in that rushing around and stressing out and stressing completely to the point where you're abusing drugs and alcohol to try and stay in the fight, and you're going to work hungover and just trying to keep the fight up, and when you're really fucked, you're a fucked unit. And you just don't need that stress. That's why I did this video, because I do care about my brothers. Alright, I'll fluck off. Any questions, put them up, and I'll put Chattahoochee under this. Alright, dudes. See you, man.